everybody, welcome back to another video. This is my sales update video for October and November. I got a little bit behind on these this year with everything that's been going on. But I am back coming to you from Santa's workshop to talk about some things I sold and give you a little commentary on that. I hope some of this information will help you with your eBay business. So let's get
I
started.
bought this item a year ago at Goodwill for $3, and it was probably the thickest cashmere sweater I've ever felt. It says it's 100% cashmere, but I think it was like 3 or 4 ply. It didn't have that information on there, but it was very thick and unusual and colorful. And so I had it priced at 100 and I got all kinds of low offers on it. So this is a case where the market dictated the price. um, you can't really dictate the price yourself. You have to see what people are willing to pay. That old saying of an item is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. So I got a $50 offer on this and I'd had it a year, so I went ahead and took that and still made good money on it. I only paid $3 for it. So I just thought this was a beautiful item and unusual, very colorful. Somebody's going to have fun wearing this really nice sweater. Speaking of cashmere, here is me practicing what I preach. This is a lot of 5 cashmere sweaters that I listed for a cutter lot, which means crafters cut them apart, unravel them, make them into something else. And so basically save these from the landfill. And I always show photos of each sweater front and back so the buyer will know what they're getting. And usually it's a minor defect, something I did not see when I purchased it. Didn't notice it till I got home. And I really don't look at these that closely anyway because I know if they're not perfect, I can sell them in a lot like this. So this was just a mixture of different colors, different brands. Some of these were really cute. And if somebody wanted to repair them, they can go for it. I am not doing that anymore. I am selling them as is because it's faster. They still will sell, and there's so much of this damaged cashmere out there. So I listed this lot, let's see, November 14th, and it sold the next day for full asking price. So that was a win. Nothing went into the garbage. And just think about that if you have an imperfect item, either you know it's imperfect when you buy it or you figure it out later when you get home with it. See if you can sell it and get something for it instead of just throwing it in the trash. But I do love working with cashmere and being a supplier of these craft materials because cashmere is a luxury fabric, and I commend the people that repurpose this into something else because that is just not me. But I can be the finder and the seller of it, and so can you. This is a Peter Millar Masters women's medium pullover top. I found this in Boone, North Carolina when I went up in October to peep at the leaves. And yeah, this master stuff is everywhere. Only had 2 views. So if you're obsessed with looking at views, don't look at them because it really only takes one to sell your item. This was listed on October 16th and it sold on October 23rd, so not even a week there. And it was an offer of $42.95, which I accepted. I paid $3.50 for this, so my profit was $36.24. And this item was just in immaculate condition. I couldn't believe something this nice was donated, but that's how it goes. I did not find a stain on it. There was nothing wrong with it, and the buyer was very happy with it. So the brand again is Peter Millar. Look, more cashmere. Are you noticing a theme here? This is a Vince 100% cashmere sweater. I bought this in Indian Land, North Carolina, and it was listed on November 14th and it sold on the 18th and it had 111 views. So on this one, I kept it kept coming up in my send offer, and so I took a look at it and it had something like 12 watchers on it in a very short time. Well, it only was out there for 4 days. So I raised the price. I had it at $29.97 and I raised it to $39.97. And lo and behold, it sold. And the person who received it was thrilled. Everything was great. No holes, no moth damage, nothing. Um, so this was a win. Now this brand is not Vince Camuto. It's VINCE period. And it is the luxury brand. So those are two different things. Yes, still made in China. Isn't everything made in China? But anyway, not the prettiest color in the world, but this went to Los Angeles as well. This cost $3.45, sold for $39.97. Profit was $34. Now, this right here is the perfect sale for me. You get out there, you find stuff, high quality stuff, buy it, list it ASAP. It sells in less than a week for your asking price. So that's what I'm looking for when we talk about rinse and repeat. This right here is the poster child for the perfect sale. Here we have a non-clothing item. This is a Crewel embroidery needlework thing. This came in a pretty crappy frame and glass, so I took it out of the frame and it was in very good condition, so I just sold it, listed it without the frame, and I paid $3.45 for this. It's really nice work, very neat, and the fabric was clean. I took an offer of $36 in one day, but I was happy with the return on that for only having paid a little over $3 for it. My profit was $30. Again, this is what I like. I listed it on November 13th and it sold the same day. So I'm happy with that one. This item is a vintage handmade needlepoint with the zodiac wheel. This sold on November 9th. Took a little while to sell, got a lot of really low offers, but it was an unusual piece, so I knew I could get more than like 20 bucks for it. This was part of an online auction win of a whole stack of needlework. Most of it was complete like this. And this was pretty big, 18 inches by 18 inches, so it could be made into a wall hanging, a pillow, a seat cushion, anything. I took an offer of $75. I paid about $15 for this, so that made my profit $52.74 after fees. And it went to a vintage shop on Sunset Avenue in Los Angeles. I posted this on the Money Making Mondays, and several people said, "Oh, you probably could have gotten a lot more for that if you'd waited." And I know, but I'm in the business of flipping things, and that was fair to me. Now they're probably going to mark it up and resell it, and that's totally fine. That's part of the business, is knowing that these items may not reach their final home, that whoever buys them may sell them, and that's okay. Um, it may sit in their shop for 3 years, but I got my money back out of it in about 6 months. So, uh, $15 investment, $75 sale price. I was very happy with that. This is one of my better sales. This was from October. St. John Basics skirt, and you can see it has this tulip detail at the bottom. And I love finding St. John, but you do have to be careful. Hold it up to the light because this Santana knit can have moth damage, even very slight moth damage. So make sure to check it over well. I paid $20 for this. It sold for full asking price of $99.97, making my profit $70.94. This is a small 1 ounce Estee Lauder Youth Dew for Women. This is a bath oil, so not a fragrance, so it could be shipped however. This sold on October 12th. I listed it on July 28th, so took a little while to sell there. And let's go to the original listing. Only had 2 views, but that's okay. I paid $11.75 for this on an online auction with many other fragrances and health and beauty products. So the price for this came out to be $11.75. Sold it for an offer of $35, making my profit right at $20. So that is a win because this was so small. Didn't take up much room and was brand new. So with only 2 views, I was happy with that. This is a J. Jill down puffy vest. I found this at a North Carolina Goodwill. Cost $3.51. I sold it for full asking price of $29.97, making my profit $24.60. And I do pick up J. Jill if it's a high quality fabric like linen or cashmere, or if it's embellished or embroidered sequins, if it's fancy. But this is 80% down, which is kind of the standard for down jackets and vests. So that's one reason why I picked it up. And it was pink. Pink sells well for me, and it's a larger size. So the buyer was very happy with it, and I was shocked that as such a light color, there weren't any stains or any imperfections. It looked brand new. So I listed it as excellent pre-owned condition, and that was a good flip. Now on this one, I'm going to use myself as an example. This listing got 6 views, and I took an offer of $30 for it. And the reason I wanted to show you this was because this was defective. And it says right here, good pre-owned condition, some stains on backs of sleeves. See photos and description. And so I will show you that with my fun AI background here. And I made sure that the defects were shown in the photos. So here's, I think it's an oil stain on the back of one sleeve. And it does not have a hood, which if we go down to the description, I mentioned that no hood right here. Okay, and then we talk about the stains down here. So I was very forthcoming with what was wrong with this, but it could still be an outdoor coat, like if you're doing chores or you don't care if it gets dirty or messed up. Um, and let's see how much down. It's 80% down, so it is a good coat. Just had a little wear to it. So this buyer who, look at her name here. I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to out this person, but that's their ID that you can see on the listing. And so she leaves this feedback here. Here's her name on my feedback page. So that is public knowledge. She says, item was pretty small for a large, and the hood was missing, but the coat is in otherwise acceptable condition. Okay, so she left me a positive. She didn't leave me a negative, but I was curious about what I could have done better to convey the issues with this coat. And I messaged her and said, thank you again for your purchase. I see your feedback explains the coat was small for a large and the hood was missing. And we did put in the description the exact measurements so you could figure out if it would fit and that the hood was missing. So, what could we have done better to communicate this to you? And it was obvious she just didn't read it. But she replied back with, well, I had a coat like this before, and this one is a lot smaller, and that one was the same size. And I'm thinking, maybe you're a little bit bigger. Maybe that's why the large does not fit you. And we mentioned the hood was missing. She said, oh, well, I had this coat before and it had a hood, so I was expecting it to have a hood. So she never answered with what I could have done better to communicate these issues to her. But sometimes that's the way it is. They just don't read. Bottom line, I'm thankful that she left a positive feedback and didn't say anything negative, which, if this was a negative, I would have had it removed because clearly what she's complaining about is explained in the listing. So, anyway, don't be afraid to sell things that aren't perfect. This is an example of that. Um, I did pay up for this on an online auction. I paid just about what I sold it for, so I didn't really make any money, but I did rehome the item. And I learned a lot about online auctions last year that sometimes the shipping just eats you and you can't make money on things. So that's the lesson here. So maybe that will help you out. Here's another fast flip of one of my favorite items. This is a Nordstrom 100% cashmere sweater, and I listed it on October 17th. It sold on the 25th, so less than 10 days there. And I paid $3 for this at Goodwill. It sold for full asking price of $29.97, so my profit was $25.82. And it sold very quickly. And it's not a very exciting item. It's just one of those sort of wardrobe basics that people constantly replace or need. So the lesson here is list your stuff. It could sell very quickly. Make a goal for yourself. Weekly. I don't like daily goals because sometimes your day just gets messed up and you don't make it. So if you do a weekly goal, where you're shooting for 20 items or 30 items or whatever it is, stay on top of that. Items can sell very quickly. Some things take 2 or 3 years, but sometimes they sell really quickly, and that's the name of the game here is flipping those items and getting your money back and your profit as quickly as possible. Okay, I sold another drawing from the art school book. This is a post-war 1950s drawing. I put in angry woman because she does look pretty angry. You look at the guy behind her, he's just like peeking around the corner. Do I dare go in there? Okay, this was listed on July 3rd, and I changed some keywords on October 10th just to kind of jiggle things around. And it sold for $25. I took an offer about, let's see, on the 28th, so 10 days after I messed around with the keywords. So I paid $4.29 for this. I bought this huge sketchbook and chose about 15 of the drawings to list right up front and allocated a cost of $4.29 to those. So as soon as I get through all those, the rest will be considered $0, zero cost. So anyway, this was on cardboard and measured 10 inches by 15 inches. So suitable for framing or just sticking up on the wall, but definitely post-war was watercolor. Those words are important when you're selling these collectibles. People search for that. So just an FYI on that. So my profit on this item was $20, and I just put it between two pieces of cardboard, taped it up really good so it wouldn't bend, and very easy to ship. So I think now, looking back at that sketchbook, that was a good investment because I've sold about 5 or 6 of these for $20 to $30. So that was a pretty lucrative purchase. Next up is this Opal House pillow cover. And this is a Target brand. I did a lesson about this brand in the premium library because I did not know it was a thing. So anyway, I paid $1 for this fun pillow cover, and I listed this on October 26th, and it sold on November 1st. So another item that sold pretty quickly, and it only had 5 views. So I keep showing you how many views because it really doesn't matter how many views you get. It just takes one buyer for that item. So I don't even normally look at those. I'm just paying attention to them on this video so that you can see, so that I can lead by example. Anyway, here is the fun boho pillow cover, and there's the brand Opal House, and the line is Jungalow. So anyway, this is just fun, and pillow covers, they don't take up hardly any space to store. They're very easy to ship, and I'm guessing that a lot of buyers want to put their own pillow in there because they can wash the cover and then put their own pillow, and it's not like somebody else's funky pillow from the thrift store that might have cooties and or other things on it. So moral of the story here, Opal House by Target. These items sell well, and there are quite a few of them out there. Here's another leading by example item. This item gets the award for the thing I had the longest. This item took 3 years to sell, but it sold for full asking price, and it only cost me 50 cents. So it is a purple elephant lovey, and it only had 5 views this time around because I kept ending it and restarting it. And the last time I restarted was July 1st of 25, and then I tweaked the keywords, changed the picture, that kind of stuff on October 9th. This sold on November 11th. And yes, I had it for 3 years. So don't give up if you have it listed and you're getting views. Leave it there. I get that question all the time. When should I give up on an item and redonate it or throw it away? And my answer is never. If you picked it, you paid for it, you did the work to list it, leave it there. This is proof that everything sells eventually. And finally, I will give you an update on my horse ribbon business. I sold 17 lots in the 2 months of October and November, so this is a very steady seller for me. And I'm still trying to figure out what determines how much the buyers will pay. Because you can see several of these sold for full asking price. There was no offer, they just bought them. Others, they make offers. Like, for example, these Appaloosa style ribbons with the spots on them. I had those listed for months. No offers, no nothing. And then all of a sudden they started selling. And I have reached out to the buyers to ask them, why did you buy this lot? Because I have about 30 lots still listed. Why did you buy this one? Is it because of the date, the location, the colors? What is it so that I can do it better? But I'm not getting any answers. So if you know, I would love to know. Like these are a 1960s lot. Those I put $50 on just because they are so old. They're collectible. My standard pricing for a lot of 10 ribbons is $39.97. And as you can see, sometimes I get that. Sometimes I get a sale like hours after I list a lot of these, and it's pretty much the same as other lots I have listed. So I don't know if buyers are getting a notification that it's like newly listed and they're just clicking it and buying it, or they need it for a craft project right away, and so they just buy it at full price so they can get it as quickly as possible. So anyway, 17 lots. So what is that? 8 weeks. So about 2 lots a week. Um, so this is a very steady product for me, and I will keep seeking them out and keep selling them because they're pretty easy to do. The tough part is finding them.
Well, thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. Enjoy your holidays. Bye, everybody.